Hare Krishna.
Chestnuts roasting, laying open fire.
We've got a fire going today.
Fired up.
Alright.
I'm still a little under the weather, in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Before we start, you'll see it going across the film. What is this? Like video. Like as I'm talking, you'll see it look like there. Okay, see my finger is it's going across there. So that's letting you know that we got a YouTube channel for these readings called Bhagavatam Bites. So we have uploaded everything so far, and these ones will get uploaded. So they'll be there even like before you see them if you're watching on Facebook. So it's like an exclusive if you're that eager. But either way,
if you subscribe is the point, right?
Yeah. Well, you gotta subscribe, or you don't even have to subscribe because you can just type your Bhagavatam Bites and go and have a look whenever you want to. But if you subscribe, that's nice as well. So that's the YouTube channel just for these readings called Bhagavatam Bites. All right. So
I would like to say, even though I don't have much of a voice, that it took Bhava Bhakti like weeks and weeks, if not months, to download those videos from Facebook and re-upload them onto the YouTube channel. It wasn't like a simple thing. Like I would have thought you just say, move them over there. But you got to do everything in a specific way, and you got to put them in order. And of course, that nice trailer that we have at the beginning, the little intro, that wasn't on all the videos for the first year, so she had to put those on. So I just want everyone to say 3 Hari Bols for all the extremely intense effort that she put in. Some days like 3, 4, 5 hours just sitting in front of the computer, and it was like tedious work and effort. So thank you
everyone. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Okay. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you comment, make sure you do whatever you're supposed to do on social media. But more importantly, make sure you listen to the Srimad Bhagavatam and you read Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it's there for. That's why we do this, and putting it out there on social media means it just floats there for eternity, even beyond like us being in these mortal bodies. Hopefully it will just be floating, and someone may come along and be inspired by Srila Prabhupada's renditions of the purports of the Bhagavatam, take to chanting Hare Krishna and perfect their lives. And that's the main thing.
Let's see,
Yeah. Okay, so it's Canto 3, Chapter 19, Text 17, The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksa. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
I think I did it too high, isn't it?
No, you're doing fine.
Oh, okay.
Everything you do is perfect.
Right.
And complete. Oh, Purnamadi.
Alright, text 17. The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yoga Maya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. Purport. The fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee, who had been converted into a demon, appeared severe enough to bring about the dissolution of the universe. This is the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous movement in the eyes of the inhabitants of the universe. So intense fighting. Looks like the world is going to end. The demon employed many tricks against the personality of Godhead.
I think just because the Lord wants to fight with his devotee doesn't mean that we should want to fight with the devotees.
Yeah.
All I'll say.
Do you want to read, Osha?
Oh, text 18 I can read.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness occasioned by dust and hailstorms. Stones came in volleys from every corner, as if thrown by machine guns. I mean, really? Shepanai is translated as machine guns. That's the word for word. Shepanai, as if thrown by machine guns. That's pretty powerful stones. Text 19. The luminaries in outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with masses of clouds, which were accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus,
Ew.
hair,
Ew.
blood, stool, urine, and bones. Now, I have seen a few harsh storms in my day, but never one with any of those elements. So that's pretty nasty. Definitely something out of a horror movie. Translation of text 20. O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked demonesses armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. So this is definitely Bhagavatam. If you really read the Bhagavatam, it's like the best Hollywood or Bollywood movie ever. I mean, you know, of course, it doesn't get into describing the, you know, mountains and how they discharged weapons, but what kind of weapons did the mountains discharge? That's a good question. Or, of course, naked demonesses with their hair hanging loose and carrying tridents. But it's definitely straight out of some kind of freak show film, you know.
Yeah, Marvel.
I don't know, Marvel maybe. But definitely some weird one.
Stephen King.
Stephen King, possibly, yes. Cruel, text 21, cruel and savage slogans were uttered by the hosts of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas, who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. Text 22. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshan, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demons. So the Lord's just released his Sudarshan, and it's capable of just basically annihilating all of this stuff. So all of this stuff, I guess, was illusory. Purport. Even famous yogis and demons can sometimes enact very magical feats by their mystical power, but in the presence of the Sudarshan chakra, when it is let loose by the Lord, all such magical jugglery is dispersed. The instance of the quarrel between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarish is a practical example in this matter. Durvasa Muni wanted to display many magical wonders, but when the Sudarshan chakra appeared, Durvasa himself was afraid and fled to various planets for his personal protection. The Lord is described here as Tripat, which means that he is the enjoyer of three kinds of sacrifices. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord confirms that he is the beneficiary and enjoyer of all sacrifices, penance, and austerities. The Lord is the enjoyer of three kinds of yajna, as further described in Bhagavad Gita. There are sacrifices of goods, sacrifices of meditation, and sacrifices of philosophical speculation. Those on the paths of Gyan, Yoga, and Karma all have to come in the end to the Supreme Lord, because Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. That is the perfection of all sacrifice. Interesting, these three different types of sacrifice. I'm trying to remember where exactly in Bhagavad Gita that is. But of course, Bhagavad Gita definitely speaks of different types of sacrifice. At one place, yeah. But yeah, I'll have to look that up. Interesting point. See the specific thing. Of course, personal enjoyer of all sacrifices. Prabhupada quotes Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, but I was thinking Bhaktaram Yagya Tapasam, 529. Bhaktaram, he's the enjoyer, Yagya Tapasam, of all yagya sacrifices and austerities, like that. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Text 23. At that very moment, a shudder suddenly ran through the heart of Diti, the mother of Hiranyaksa. She recalled the words of her husband Kashyap, and blood flowed from her breast. Oh dear. Purport. At Hiranyakashipu's last moment, at Hiranyaksha's last moment, his mother Diti remembered what her husband had said. Although her sons would be demons, they would have the advantage of being killed by the personality of Godhead himself. She remembered this incident by the grace of the Lord, and her breast flowed blood instead of milk. In many instances, we find that when a mother is moved by affection for her sons, milk flows from her breast. In the case of the demon's mother, the blood could not transform into milk, but it flowed down her breast as it was. Blood transforms into milk. To drink milk is auspicious, but to drink blood is inauspicious, although they are one and the same thing. This formula is applicable in the case of cow's milk also.
Yeah.
So Diti's upset. She raised the wrong one. That's what happens though, it's like modern day, you'd think you should have reined him in. It shouldn't get to the point where he's dueling with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that's just a modern interpretation. But she's upset, naturally.
Yeah, mothers get upset. And their children are affected, even if their children are demons. Something it's not easy for everyone to understand a mother's love. The mother always feels for her son, even if her son is a death row, killer, serial killer. Still, the mother will, potentially feel something for their child, like that. But this scientific kind of understanding of milk, we don't often think about it like that, but milk is basically made from blood. I mean, that's really far out, so somehow but I guess it's like that with many things. And it's also amazing how the female body, just when the child is born, starts to produce milk to feed the child. I mean, the body is such an amazing and magnificent piece of kit, a piece of equipment, machinery that's been created by the Lord, and it just functions. And somehow we make ourselves so relevant, but the fact of the matter is we don't even understand how the body is doing this stuff. I mean, it's not like you have to go through a whole process and fill out paperwork and get a license to create milk to feed your child. It's like your body just does it like that. Of course, maybe not all bodies do it. Some bodies may malfunction in that way, but for the most part, yeah, it's incredible. And how is it like, I remember hearing for the first time Prabhupada talking about how the cow just eats grass, and by eating the grass, that grass is transformed into the blood that turns into milk, basically. And you just think, yeah, that's really far out how that manifests. Yet scientists exclaim, there is no God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Just by studying material nature, let's not even go into, say, the Bhagavatam or scriptures or anything on a transcendental plane. Just by studying material nature, if you have any brain substance, you will accept that there is a higher being, even if you can't get to the point where it must be a person, you know, should be a person, might be a person, but that, wow, there's something quite amazing going on. Just by studying material, just by studying a leaf and looking at the veins in the leaf, you know, and the way the trees, like we were saying, you know, change the color of the leaves, and then the leaves.
Yeah, right now all the trees look as if they're dead. You think, oh God, everything's died. Just chop it down. We'll have to start all over again. But no, it's just the life is still being preserved there in the trunk and the roots. And then as soon as the sun starts, the season changes.
When it's time. But whose time and who's creating that time?
Yeah.
That it occurs.
How does the tree know? How does the tree know that? It's not like someone has to go around ringing a bell. Okay, everybody, all the trees. Time to...
They don't have PhDs.
PhDs.
I mean, like the scientists.
Yeah. It's not like, they don't have to be trained or sent to school. Okay, when the first signs of spring come, you have to, you know, it's like things just are happening. Yet, you know, people are trying to explain that all this is going on just by accident, and we never see, hardly we see in nature things are happening by accident. You know, it's like things just happen and they're repeating themselves and go on, and the planets are circling. Yeah, anyway, go off on a tangent here, but yeah.
Okay, shall we read one more?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it me?
Yes.
Text 24. When the demon saw his magic forces dispelled, he once again came into the presence of the personality of Godhead Keshav, and full of rage tried to embrace him within his arms to crush him. But to his great amazement, he found the Lord standing outside the circle of his arms.
So he went like this to grab him and crush him. But as soon as he did that, the Lord was like out of his reach.
Purport. In this verse, the Lord is addressed as Keshava because he killed the demon Keshi in the beginning of creation. Keshava is also a name of Krishna. Krishna is the origin of all incarnations, and it is confirmed in Brahma Samhita that Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, exists simultaneously in his different incarnations and expansions. The demon's attempt to measure the Supreme Personality of Godhead is significant. The demon wanted to embrace him with his arms, thinking that with his limited arms he could capture the Absolute by material power. He did not know that God is the greatest of the great and the smallest of the small. No one can capture the Supreme Lord or bring him under his control. But the demoniac person always attempts to measure the length and breadth of the Supreme Lord. By his inconceivable potency, the Lord can become the universal form, as explained in Bhagavad Gita, and at the same time he can remain within the box of his devotees as their worshipful deity. There are many devotees who keep a statue of the Lord in a small box and carry it with them everywhere. Every morning they worship the Lord in the box. The Supreme Lord Keshava, or the personality of Godhead Krishna, is not bound by any measurement of our calculation. He can remain with his devotees in any suitable form, yet he is unapproachable by any amount of demoniac activity.
Interesting. That's interesting. Prabhupada mentions that, you know, keep deity in a box. Many devotees do that and carry it around. I mean, I guess for sure, if you have a shalagram Shila or a Shila in general, Govardhan Shila, then you would usually keep it in a small box and carry it around with you. But I guess
I used to do that when I was working. I had Jagannath deities this big, if you can see, like literally in a little plastic box like that from India. You just closed it. I took them to work, put them on my desk, closed them and took them home.
Amazing. Amazing. There you go. So get yourself a box with some deities in it. Of course, many senior devotees also do like this when they travel. They have deities and
like when you travel and then you just have a little travel container for them. Well, container, nice one.
Takeaway container.
But the
aluminum foil.
The point that I took away from it was that, so even someone that does that, the unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in that little box. However, someone who is a demon or demoniac tendencies, because you don't have to be Hiranyaksa, you can even be, you know,
great point.
They cannot capture or approach the Lord,
yeah,
even if he's that teeny weeny in a box.
Yeah, but yeah, Hiranyaksa was huge, and he tried to capture the Lord. I mean, remember, Lord Bor Varahadev had the whole planet Earth resting just like
tough,
you know, the little Christmas ball on his tusk. Yeah, so that's how big he was, and Hiranyaksa was big enough to grab him.
Yeah,
and Hiranyaksa couldn't grab him, but a devotee can grab the Lord and put him in a box.
Well, Mother Yashoda can tie him up.
And Mother Yashoda, yeah, beautiful, wonderful realization. Thank you.
All glories to the Lord in the box.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And thank you, devotees who are saying some prayers for my health is getting better, slowly but surely.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Bhagavatam Bites on YouTube Ki Jai.